G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to have some fun. I know, look what I've got. Okay, so I want to use my new turtle mold because it's really amazing to put things in because it's got a really shiny surface, so it's really good to put things in. So I thought I'd make like a little mini aquarium. Now, I went through and found all my little fish. I was going to use these ones, but the only issue is they're flat on one side. They've got the texture on the other side, but they're flat on the other side. And because I want them to be standing upright, to be able to see from both sides, can't use them. So I'll use them for another thing. They might be really sweet in my puffy hearts, so we may do those in another video. So the only ones that I've got that are like 3D, both sides, are these little dudes, little Nemos. I don't know which is the top and which is the bottom though. I don't know that it makes a difference. Anyway, so I'm going to use those. I looked everywhere for artificial moss, and this is the best one I found. Look at that. That's so cool. It feels soft. I said to my husband I could just put broccoli in there. So I bought two colours. I wasn't sure which colour I wanted, so I got the light green and I got the dark green as well. And I just got these on eBay. I shop on eBay and I shop on Amazon. I do both, so that's them. They feel really cool. You can break it into pieces depending on what you want to do with it. So there's a lot there. But yeah, you can separate it and do what you want to do it. So I'm going to use that. I've also, when I went to the aquarium to see whether or not they had like artificial moss and things like that, but they didn't. But they did have some little plastic plants. These I've cut down from bigger plants. So I may use those as well. Anyway, move my stuff out. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in layers. Obviously, if you just fill it up with resin, put your fish in, they're all going to sink to the bottom and just all lie all over the place and look like dead fish floating in the top of your turtle. So we're not going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have got some Platinum 360 Plus. I did 50 grams of A, 32 grams of B. It's probably going to be way too much, so I'll make some puffy hearts. So this is going to have to be done in layers. And I'm going to use something that's, obviously not going to set up, that's going to set up fast enough, I should say. Because what I want to do is, once this layer gets kind of tacky and sticky, then I can get my fish and I can put him in there without him like falling over or sinking or anything. So once that's sticky enough that I can put him in there, I can put a couple in there. Then I can do another layer, put a couple more in different positions, do another layer, and so forth. And then the top layer will be moss all over the top. Obviously the head won't. I might be able to get some in the neck, moss in the neck. I'll try that. I don't know if I can, but anyway, we'll see. I want a little head. I want a little fish in his head as well, so put a little bit of resin in there. Actually, I can just do that. Come on, just do that. Push some in there because the head's not as high. Obviously, there's a gap under there, so it's not as low as the shell. So, but look, I can. That's fine. That's fine. I can do the head next layer, can't I? I don't have to do it now. So, just a little. That'll do. Got all that got left over. All right. So anyway, that's the first layer done there. And basically we're just going to wait now until that gets tacky, and then I'll come back and we'll do the next layer. And then the second layer will go into the turtle's head, and then I can put a fish into that one. So yes, we'll do that. All right. But yeah, they're cute, aren't they? Just got them on Amazon or Etsy or something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to work out which is the top. They look the same to me. I don't know. All right, I'll see you soon for the next layer. All right, before I go, let's use some of this. So I'll do the same thing I'm just going to pour a little bit in to each. And then when I do my next layer, I'll add a bit more in. Still got some left though. So I'll use these little fish, you know, that are only one-sided. Lovely lady in my Facebook group made them for me over a year ago. Anyway, they'll be going like good side down because you're not going to see the backs of these. Okay, so I'll use those in my puffy hearts. And just do a couple of little layers so that we've got like the 3D look for the fishies. I think that'll be really sweet. So I'll just mix some colour in this and I'll make a couple more puffy hearts just for my giveaways. Now with these, I guess you probably don't need to be too concerned about bubbles because, you know, fish are in water and there's bubbles in water, so it doesn't really matter if you get bubbles in it, and some people actually like to put bubbles in, so you could do that if you wanted to. All right, I'll see you in about 3 hours. Okay, so I've tested this, and when I put a stick in it, it's leaving like a little train, so I think it's ready. I only got a little bit in there, and I think I only want to do just one little fishy. Oh, how many have I got? I don't want to put too many in there. We'll just put one in there. We'll see how he goes. Like that. So that's pretty much all for this layer. I'll add a few of these though, just in here. This one's almost set. I'm only going to just put one little fishy in each, and then I'll put another one in the next layer. There's a little tiny one. Okay, so just pop them in. Resin's still soft enough so they're getting pushed in. This one seems to be staying upright. So I think I'll just do one for now, and the next layer I'll do a couple more and we'll put one in the head. All right, so that'll be it until the next layer. I have got some more resin mixed up, and we will just encase these in a layer of resin and then let that go off, and then I'll come back. So on and so on. Now I'm going to pour onto my stick and let it run down. That way, hopefully to avoid splashing and bubbles. Same with the little dudes. So just enough to, like when you put your next layer on, they look, you know, 3D. They're floating around next to each other. And you can do a few layers. How much have we got there? Let's have a look. It's about 1 centimetre, not quite 1 centimetre. I'll put a little bit more in because they do tend to sort of go down into the resin a little bit as well when I push them in. And let's go into the head there as well. Get that bubble out. Make sure, we'll try and get the bubbles out anyway. So I think maybe I'm going to be doing like maybe 3 or 4 layers with these. Not quite sure. All right, let that cure up for a couple of hours and we will do it again. Okay, next layer. Now I have to decide if I want all the fish kind of going in the same direction or all kind of higgledy-piggledy. So I'm kind of thinking maybe all in the same direction would be better-ish. I still don't know which is the top and which is the bottom. I don't know if there is a top and a bottom. They look exactly the same. Yeah, oops. I don't know if there's a top and a bottom. Anyway, we'll just, oh my gosh, slippery little critters. I'll just use my fingers. Wish I could tell which was the top and the bottom. I think they're identical. I don't think there is a difference, actually. So just pop that in there, like so. Now, do I want to put one? No, that's, oh gosh, there's a bubble. There's a bubble in the head. There's a bubble head. Just try and get that out. I can get it out because the resin's still soft. And what's that? A hair, something. I think that one's probably gone. Did I get that bubble? Just in the turtle's neck there. I think I've got it. A bit hard to see. Alright, so I'm going to put one of these in the head. If I can get the tweezers to let go. Oh, it's a big sticky mess now. There we go. One can go in there. And it can go on a little bit of an angle. It doesn't have to be exactly straight, I guess. As long as they're all kind of heading in the same direction. I think that's probably best, isn't it? They're kind of all heading sort of in the same direction. You can go there. Wish I could use a couple of these others, but I'll have to find some other fish that are, you know, double-sided. All right, let's put some of these little ones in. One of these purple angelfish things. Those are cute. And oh, stuck my finger in it. Just again going in the same direction if possible. Sort of in the same direction. They don't have to be exactly looking exactly the same way. Now, what's that one doing? I don't know which way that one's going. It's just a long blob. I don't know which side its eye's on. Oh, gosh. Never mind. All right. I'm just going to put that one in there. Like so. All right. That's probably it. The next layer. I'll mix up some resin. Yeah, I'll probably use all these. I've only got 4 left. So I'll mix up some more resin. I might do another one. Because quite a thick amount is going to be for my moss. So might need to just, you know, put another one in. Go on a bit of an angle there, like that. Same with these ones. And I will do another layer, and I'll see if I can put another couple of fish in. But I do need to allow for that. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to cut a little bit off one of these. I think that's going to be too big, so I want to put like a little. I don't know if I still can. I want to put like a little plant in there. Kind of poke it in a little bit. Probably should have come back a little bit earlier. I was having a break and watching a movie, crocodile movie, Deep Water Abyss. Has anyone seen Deep Water Abyss? It's a 2020 movie. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. Just kind of want a little bit of depth there as well. Might lift that one up a bit. Can get stuck down in the next layer. Just so it kind of looks as if the fish are swimming around the plant. That'll do. That'll do. I'm not real good with dioramas. Still learning. Oh gosh. Get my phone down. Still got lots of room left. So next layer, we'll go underneath this. Those are looking good too. All right, I'll mix up some more resin. All right, a little bit more resin. Each time I make it, I just make a little bit more because we're getting wider across the top there. And let's pour onto the stick again. Let's see how that goes. I am using my extras to make some more puffy hearts. They're over on the other bench though. And I can see a little bubble there under the leaf, so we'll just get that out. You can just sort of pick them out and they'll come up to the surface, and then you can either scoop them out or you can give them a torch. I don't like to put alcohol, it's like spray alcohol onto clear things because sometimes it leaves that kind of watermark look, and I don't want that when you're looking through into clear. Now, a tiny bit more on these and do one more layer of little fishies, and then I'll have to leave some room for my moss. Haven't worked out how I'm going to do that yet because it's going to get filled up with air. I think what I'm going to do is I'll like put some into the resin and let it sit in the resin, and then I can just pull it out. I think that's probably going to be the best way, otherwise it's just going to get covered in bubbles. Just spread that a little bit. This one needs a tiny bit more. Okay, well, everything's looking as it should so far. I don't really know how it should be looking, but it's looking okay. All right, now there's a bubble there. A good thing to do is grab your little torch or flashlight. Look away if flashing lights affect you, because the torch kind of, even though it's not flashing, it may. So look away if it bothers you. Now, if you shine a torch down, you can see really clearly where the bubbles are. There's one there. And there's a couple around this little fishy here. So yeah, it's a really great little trick if you want to get your bubbles out. I probably aren't going to be able to get 100% of them out. I'm sure there'll be some stuck underneath one of the fish that I can't see. But it's the best way I know to see the bubbles. And I'm just dislodging them, letting them come up to the surface. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And then just give it a quick little torch. These sorts of things are really good for scooping the bubbles out because the bubbles get trapped on the fabric. So they are really good as well. And there's another one there. So that's basically all I'm going to do. And then, yeah, we'll do the same thing for the next lot. Come in here and see if there's any bubbles. There are a few little tiny micro bubbles that are down below. I can't really do much about those. Those will just stay. But yes. Oh, there's a bit of glitter. Fancy that. Glitter in my work. But yeah, look, they're fish and it's in a little aquarium, so don't be too worried about your bubbles. Not much you can do about it, really. That's it. All right, I'll see you for the next layer. There's another bubble I just saw. Oh, I saw one just behind his little front fin there. There we go. There it is. Can you see it? It's come up to the surface. Oh, it just popped itself, did it? It's gone. All right. See you guys soon. Okay, last little layer with the fish. I probably left it a bit long. It's gone hard, but I'll just sort of put them where I want them. And push them down a little bit so that they stick Now this one I found, it's half. I don't know why it's half, but it's a half one, so I'll just like put him there or something like that later on. And another one over here maybe. I don't want to overcrowd it, she says as she adds more. There we go. Oops, getting my nails stuck in it. I'll clean that off. I think that's probably about it. I've got one left. Where can I put it? I'll have a think about it. All right, let's move over here. Make sure I get it eye down. It's a cute little one there. And that one. And I've got some little tiny ones. I might add a couple of those as well. Whoops. It's a bit fiddly. Oh, here's a new one. Look, it's a little blue and white stripy one. Okay, I'll just find one more for over there and then we're done. There's a big one there, but it's probably too big to put in. This one will do. There we go. All right, that's all the fish done. Now I'll just make up another little bit of resin and then I'm going to have to try and deal with these. I did break them into little pieces just so that they were a bit smaller. Righto, have some more resin. Just move that little guy for a minute. Now I'm going to cover these fish and that'll still leave me a little bit of room for my moss. I do want to try and poke some in under that neck there though, so gotta leave a little bit of room for that. So that'll be a bit lower than this because the head's on a bit of an angle. Saw a little bubble. Where are you? Get out. I'll get it later. Okay, let's do these ones too. Now these ones can't have very much room. Can't have very much resin because I need to leave a little bit of room for the moss. Obviously they're not as deep as the turtle is. Now how much room have I got? Okay, I think what I'll do is I'm going to poke a little bit of moss in there, like that. It does look like broccoli, doesn't it? Some sort of vegetable. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just poke that in there. Now, this will probably get bubbles. I don't know. Look, I don't know. We're just going to have to try it, hey? Because I don't really know what it's going to do. And I can't get the bubbles out that are, you know, trapped underneath that little bit of moss there. So, yeah, can't do anything about that. So I'll just pop that there. So hopefully that will be, that'll look as if there's moss under his neck and then over the total of the body. So there we go. All right, so that's it there. I'll put a little bit more in. So I kind of want it to look as if the fish are, you know, I don't want it to look as if the fish are right there with the moss, like the moss is touching them. So I want a little bit of space between these fish and the moss, if possible. But I do want to put this one in, and I can see that there's some resin gone into that there, so, and into this as well. So I think that will probably be enough. We'll just go into this little fin here, like so. Push the resin into there. And a tiny bit more. Probably don't need a lot of room for that moss. So it's probably about 1/4 inch, about 6 mil or so, that I've still got to play with there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this set, because if I put the moss in now, I'm worried that it might all like sink and they get mixed up with the fish and everything. So we'll let this set again. I'm just going to push this to the edges. It's not really wanting to push to the edges because the layer underneath it's still a bit soft. I might just put a bit more on there. All right, so that's basically all what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put that resin in around there. Just cover this layer here. Go around there. Whoops, I'm dripping on the board, on my workboard. If your layer underneath is still a bit tacky, it makes it really hard for the top layer to move, because it just wants to stick. I'm hoping I'm leaving some room for my moss. All right, there we go. So that's basically it. And then, yeah, I'll come back to you when it's time to do the next layer with the moss. I think I'm going to put like a bit of the light green and the dark green in, just for a bit of contrast. Yeah, I think that'll look nice. Okay, guys, I am back. It's the next day. Now, as you can see, these ones I felt were getting a little bit, you know, high up. There wasn't going to be much room left to pour another layer there, as there was that one. So I just thought, oh, I wonder what it would look like. So I just put them in. So I didn't video it. I just put them in. Okay, so, and then I got another puffy heart mold, and I just put it over the top like that, pressed down, and left it like that to cure, just so that the tops would be flat. So that's what I did with those ones. I'll probably do a video on actually making these at a later stage. I've got some clear resin there just to pour over the tops of those, but I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to move on to this. Now, I've got the Platinum 360 Plus, and I broke up my moss. Like I said, it's just on eBay. Just look for artificial moss. I think is probably the best thing to search for. Maybe Etsy, Amazon, eBay. Artificial moss. Okay. So anyway, I've just had it sitting there in my resin to try and get as many bubbles out as possible. And now, the fun part, another fun part. It's all fun. But yeah, like as you can see, I've mixed both colors together. Just to give it a little bit more interest and a little bit more kind of natural look, I guess. Put some light over the little fishy there. So basically just filling it up is all. Probably don't need all this resin I've mixed up actually. I did 100 grams of A and 43 grams of B, and then I put a little bit into there. But yeah, I don't know how dense I'll be able to make it, because I'm using a lot of resin as well, and the resin's filling in the sort of the gaps. But yeah, I thought if I just put in the moss first and then fill it up with resin, I was just going to get a million bubbles. So I thought I'll just do it this way. And if it's a bit full, if I need to take some resin out, I can just put some paper towel over the top and just sort of take a bit of resin out and do it that way. So anyway, that was what I had thought to do. Whether or not it's right, I don't know. So it's getting quite full there now. Oh gosh. But I will put a silicone mold over the top of this as well, just to keep it flat. You could do a piece of plastic if you prefer, just a plastic bag or something like that, and then weigh it down with a chopping board or a book or whatever you wanted to weigh it down with. I'm just trying to pick out some smallish ones. I did break up the moss just so I could try and get sort of flattish pieces, because it's quite big chunks, and yeah, I wanted to just sort of get thin-ish pieces that would fit over the top. So I just sort of pulled it apart, shredded it. There's a nice little bit for the corner there. I'll find a little dark bit for in here. Oops, that's a bit big. And you could use your tweezers as well if you wanted to, but I just find my tweezers just get all sticky and gooey. So this works fine with my stick. A little bit of dark just there. It's getting quite full now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a piece of paper towel and I'm going to just push lightly down just to get some of that resin up, like so. Whoops, I'm spilling. I should have put it on a plastic bag. I'm going to go and get a plastic bag. If you know that, things may ooze out, just grab yourself a little plastic bag. It's just one of the ones I use for packaging up my molds when I send them out. And that way, if anything drips, it's going to go on the plastic bag and not on your work surface. All right, there we go. All right. Now, how is that looking, I wonder? So I can see that there's pieces of moss that are poking up, but when I put my mold over the top, it should... I just want this little piece of light green. It should flatten down again. There we go. It was stuck. I've got a wet wipe here just to clean off myself so I don't get too sticky. All right, I think that'll do. Hey, I don't know that we have to have it totally densely covered, maybe. I don't know. Tis what it is. Like, anyway. All right, so probably don't need the rest of that. I will pour into these though. Even though they level, I've still got little gaps where the resin, it wasn't really full, so I need to add a little bit more resin there. Don't look at my dirty stick, it's just it's used. It's dry, but it's used. I use my sticks again. I'm just going to push that around. If I had thought about it earlier, I would have actually dusted the bales in like a green or a blue or something like that. Something watery. Just because they're going to be clear. But anyway, again, it is what it is. Practice. My first attempt at something like this, so I'll know better next time. I'll make the changes next time I do these. A little bit tricky, but I think, if you're doing them as a gift or to sell, they would just be so gorgeous. I think they'd be really popular. Anything watery is popular, isn't it? Now I like to dome the back of these. Just put a little bit more on, make sure that everything's covered. I'm not going to push down on these again like I did the first time, and I only push down on them to get the moss to be flat on top, because you don't want things poking through. I think that's about it. Hopefully I haven't got anything poking through. Just dome them nicely. There we go. Where I could see a little something poking through, I'm just giving it another little dab of resin. Okay, I think that's, missed a bit. I think that's about it. Now this one. Now I need to find, I wonder if our puffy heart will be big enough to find something that will, not quite. How about this one? This one's a bit bigger. Give it a clean. Just anything really, anything that's going to be big enough to cover. I think that will do. We've covered the back feet, we've covered the front flippers like so. Now I just need to put some weight on that. What can I use? What can I use? I'll do this. I've got this little board. So I'm going to put that little chopping board there. Make sure it's centered. And then I'm going to put something on top. There we go. That should work nicely. We'll just... which way? There we go. That'll do. Ah, I've got resin oozing out the sides. Anyway, there we go. That's it. Look, if there's a couple of bubbles trapped underneath, so be it. And I guess if you particularly wanted to, once it was all cured, you could do a top coat just to make sure that the top like this is nice and level and smooth and etc. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Unmold later today. Yay, and see what it's looking like. Okay, so I've tested this and it's nice and set. So let's try this one. Move everything. Hopefully everything's okay. Peel that off. Yes! Well, that worked well. Yes, it's set, it's set. Okay, cool. Got a little bit of overflow there. That's okay. Easy to clean up. It's on my bit of plastic there. So, not too bad. We've got a nice flat surface now where I've had that silicone mold. It's pretty good. There's one tiny little bubble under here, but yeah, you won't even see that once we've got the turtle unmolded. All right, let's move all this out of the way. I'm going to do the turtle first. I'll peel that off. I can use that plastic bag again. Okay. Now, no, I don't need my alcohol spray, do I? No, because I'm not doing the skull. I'm just doing the turtle. Oh, gosh. All right. Hope it's set. Yep, it feels set. A little bit of overflow like that. I can just pick that off though. That won't be a problem. Just because the resin went over the sides when I put that weight on top. But it seemed to have done its job. Right, pull that down there. And then this one. Little bits of resin are going flying. I'm trying to do it gently so I don't lose too many of those little bits that are flicking everywhere, but it's just gonna have to happen, isn't it? Never mind. I'll clean it up later. All right, now I'll get this one. Get this little flipper out. And we just pull that down. Little thin piece to come out. Little bits of resin flying off everywhere. Oh gosh. Okay. It's not a difficult mold to unmold. I just did my nails. I probably should have waited a bit longer. So I'm trying to be careful. But I don't want to dent them. I've only just done them. I haven't done the top coat though. So going extra careful. Move all those out of the way. Now there's this little tiny bit here that I've got as an overflow. I'll just wriggle that little head out. Oh, look. Oh, so clear. Oh my gosh. All right, now I just want to get this little bit, before we turn it over, I just want to get this little bit here. Hang on. I'll just use this. That way we can look and see the finished product without any little bits of resin in there. That was just that little bit of overflow that's gone through, that's all. And this little bit here. Bear with me, guys, bear with me. It's part of the doing resin. Gotta clean up your edges. Gotta clean up your edges. Right. These little scalpels are really handy for doing little touch-ups, little clean-ups. Very, very sharp though, so be really careful. I'll put that away later. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready for the grand flipping over? Oh my gosh, let me move that out of the way. We'll do those later. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? I hope it looks really pretty. Yes! Look at it! Oh, that is so cool. Wow. Look at that. They're all magnified swimming around in there. Oh, that is so cool. I like the one in there. That is so cool. And there's one swimming around in his head. You get a really 3D effect there with a little bit of moss on the bottom, and you can see him floating up around the top there. That is so cool. Put him on a bit of white. There you go. Let's go down and have a little look, shall we? Oh, that's so cute. We should go outside. That's what we should do. Oh my gosh, you guys. I forgot these. I was so excited to go outside and do that. So you'll probably see this beforehand before I go outside. I don't know. I've cut it. I will cut it and put it back together in the video. Anyway, let's get these out. Otherwise, yeah, we'll totally forgot them. Oh, gosh. Never mind. I was just too excited to go outside and see what it looked like. All right, let's throw that over there. Whoops, I missed. Now, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to get a bit of paper. I've got a little round of white and a little round of black just so that we've got some background to look at them on. Okay. Oh, gosh, where are we? Where is it? Where is it? I can't even see where it is. Okay, here it is. Oh, wow, that is so sweet. There's a bit of silicone on it. Oh, that is too cool. Look at that, you guys. That is just adorable. So that's it without any white behind it. Let's have a look at the black. The black looks okay too. Black, white. Oh, ta-da! You could do either. You could do either. That is just adorable. Okay, I'll pop that there. Next one. Oh, look at them. They are so cute. Just swimming around in there. See, I didn't want to put a dark colour on the back. I just thought maybe you wouldn't be able to see what's going on in there. But looking at that now, maybe black or like a really navy blue might look nice. I just didn't know if you'd be able to see the fish against the dark background, so I didn't do it. If you wanted to, like if you were doing this, you could paint the back with some nail polish. You could spray paint it. There's lots of different things you could do to it. Oh, this one's got a bit of overflow. I didn't even notice. Oh, it's still soft. I can just trim that off. So there's that one. They do look as if they're swimming through, don't they? And on the white, which do you like better? Black or white? Black or white? Let me trim this. There's my little nippers. You don't really want to get the nail file onto it, only because if you start filing it, it'll leave that sort of rough white area, whereas if you just snip it off like that, you don't get that. Oh, that's so cute. And the last one. There he is. Look at that. Just adore a bubble. Tiny little bit of overflow there. Just pick it off. Pick it off. And there's it on the white. So there's a white. There's a black. We'll do 2 on each. Okay, let's go down and have a close look at them. And you can let me know what you think. Whoa, finger in front of the lens. If you like the white background. Sorry about all the ring lights. Or the black background. I'm just going to take off this one ring light that's shining straight at me. That was the middle one that have a little ring light there. Okay, so that's the white background and the black background. I think the moss, that light moss, is really standing out more against the black. Okay, let's go. Let's be off. Round we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oops, open the door. Let's look at him in the sunshine. Oh, well, there's no sunshine there yet. We're in the shade. We're in the shade. Find some sun. Oh, I'm going to have to walk up the driveway, aren't I? Oh, no, here's a bit of sun. Here's a bit. I'll just stand here. Okay. There you go. Can you see a little bit better in the natural light? He's so cool. I love it. There's all kinds of things. Oops. I'm looking over the top of the camera. There's all sorts of things you could pop in here. You know, a lovely flower, you know, a rose. He's so cool. Wonder what it would look like with a light shining in underneath him. That might look cute too. I do have one of those lights. I might go and try that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my little turtle video. There's no point putting with green background there because he's green. You won't see anything. Yeah, I might go and set him up on the light and just see if it's any different. Don't know that it is, but where the fins are there, you can see the moss a little bit better because it's, you know, not as deep. But then looking down into the depths of the shell, you can't really see the moss all that well because you're looking through a lot of resin. And there's his head. That's so cool. I love it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. And you let me know what else you want me to put in my turtle. I'll see you all real soon for the next video. Okay, take care, guys. Bye for now.